Hello, hello. Welcome back to the live stream. All right, the connection seems to be smooth. Okay. All right, well, we're going to go with it. Hopefully it stays this way. Hi guys, welcome back to my live stream today. All right, let me make sure that I've got everything. Ooh, when I say the connection is smooth, it goes in and out. I am not sure how this connection's gonna last. All right, I just tried to change something up. Let's see if it gets a little bit smoother as a result. No, the connection's not looking good. All right, now it's looking good. It's so frustrating that this connection's going in and out, guys. All right, I think I'm gonna. I hope the connection is smooth, guys. I really do apologize if it goes in and out. Sorry, I'm looking at my other screen here to see how the connection goes. All right, we're gonna give it a go. If we can get the connection going, amazing. I can see that it keeps just dropping in and out. All right, I reckon we're just gonna give it our best shot and hope for the best. That's all I can really do at this point. Yeah. All right. So sorry, guys, for that slight delay. I just get really overly anxious when the connection isn't smooth, and then I get stressed that you guys have to watch choppy connection. When honestly, like, after I start my stream, I should just like go for it and see how we go. Hopefully that you guys can still get a little bit from this. Okay, let me give you guys a quick little update on what's happening new with cryptocurrency in the world right now. So Bitcoin still remains at around that mid 60,000 range, with traders watching whether Bitcoin can regain stronger momentum after recent weaknesses. Remember, a few months ago, it was like in the 70,000s, and right now it's been down for a little while. And then crypto remains more cautious than traditional markets. Recent market commentary describes continued weakness across crypto and highlights concerns about the current bearish environment. Also, the Clarity Act remains an important crypto regulation story. So recent reports say progress on US crypto market structure legislation has been a major focus for traders, with delays creating additional uncertainty. And then we've got the institutional flows remain important for Bitcoin. Traders are continuing to watch ETF demand as indicator of whether large investors are still willing to accumulate during periods of weakness. And then the altcoins remain mixed, with traders looking for signs that Bitcoin can establish a stronger trend before taking more risk for smaller cap assets. Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening in the trends of cryptocurrency in the world. But yeah, I feel like let's get into, maybe we can do some spot trading today. We can jump between, so I was thinking we'd do spot and perpetual today. But yeah, so this is the SuperEx main page. Once you have created an account, it's super straightforward. You like register your email, phone number, create a secure password, two-step authentication, and you can good to go. You can start depositing, withdrawing funds. It's honestly amazing. You can start making trades within a span of like 5 minutes. When I first set up my account, I was able to start doing things, and that was exactly what I wanted to see. So I reckon today we can start with spot trading, as it's a great way to kind of like lead you in when you are fresh into cryptocurrency trading realms. This is what I did when I first started, and it definitely has helped me understand the other processes along the way. So this here is the SuperEx spot trading screen. I understand it can look a little bit busy at first, but honestly it's quite simple. There are only 4 main areas I need you guys to be aware of. So we've got this top sector here, which is for our pairs. Right now I have Bitcoin and USDT loaded, but you can switch between any token in seconds, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Then we got the big chart in the middle here. Boom, 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 boom. This is our trading view price chart. So it shows Bitcoin's price action live. And you can switch between 1 minute, 15 minutes, hourly, daily candles, whatever fits your style. I have a tendency to leave it on around the 1 week mark, just because I like to see what the trends are kind of happening right now. And then on the right hand side, we have our order book. This shows every buy order in green and every sell order in red in real time. Don't worry too much about it for now. Beginners don't really need to understand it too much. Just acknowledge that it's there, okay? And then on the far right, this is kind of where our magic happens today. This is our trading panel, and this is the only area we actually really need to interact with today. Okay, so on our trading panel, at the top it says buy in green, and then it also says sell in red. I would like us to buy Bitcoin today, so we're going to click on the buy option, and then right under that we'll see 3 different order types. We've got limit, market, and stop market. I'm going to go with limit today. Why is that? Because a market order buys at whatever the price the market is right now. You pretty much have no control. A limit order lets you say, I'm only going to buy Bitcoin if it drops to my price. Pretty much just be patient, disciplined, and you'll get what you want. And you won't settle for less, is what I really like. Okay, we can go for a quick detour back to switching our pairs. So if I head over here, I just hover over Bitcoin and USDT. This drop down appears. Some computers you might have to actually click into it, but for me, I just have to hover over it. So first we have that search bar here, where you can type in any token that you want. So like be it ET, ETH, SOL, BNB, anything. Honestly, SuperEx has thousands of pairs, which I love. And then these tabs just down below here will help you filter it by category. So spot is for crypto, stock for the US stock market. Yes, that's right. You can trade things like Apple and Tesla if you'd like. And then we have free market for community listed tokens and so on. So you can also just like scroll down here and click any of the most popular pairings. I'm going to stick with my Bitcoin and USDT today. So I'd close that and we can kind of move on from there. Okay, back to our trading panel where our magic likes to happen. So we're going to set our buy price. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at 65,181. That's actually gone up. So since last week it was sitting at like 64,800. So it has actually gone up, but I think it's going to go down a little bit more before it goes back up. So I'm going to put you at, oh, wait, no, wrong one. I always love to do that. On my buy price here, I'm going to put it at 65,000. Okay. If I put it in my amount, that's how much Bitcoin. And no, we don't want to be buying that much Bitcoin. So pretty much what this means is that my order will sit in my order book, and the moment that Bitcoin touches 65,000 USDT, my buy fills automatically. Until then, pretty much nothing really happens. I'm in control, not chasing the market, which I love. Okay, then we kind of want to think about how much money you want to commit to this, okay? So you see the total field down below here. That's how much USDT you want to spend. For this trade, I think I'm going to commit 50 USDT just for this demo. I click in 50 and kind of see what happens. The amount field has automatically calculated how much Bitcoin you'll get. So in this case, we'll get 0.00076 of a Bitcoin. You don't have to do the math, which I love. SuperEx does all that work for me. Also, something just to quickly note though is available balance. For this actual transaction, I wouldn't be able to process it because I only have 15 USDT. Right down here, you can see that that's all that I have available. And just a bit of a tip, just don't ever go all in. I think it's really smart to make sure you play it safe, especially for your early on trades. I want you to just do a little step by step, okay? I don't want you guys to go all in with, if I have 15 USDT, I probably would recommend you guys to do 5 USDT or 10 USDT for an actual transaction. I'm just looking at my fur babies. You guys know that I got fur babies recently. When I say recently, it's been already a month, but it still feels so new to have them here, and I love it. And they've gotten way more chill. First few times when I was doing my live streams, they would constantly come over and be like, oh, what's happening? I'm going to come on your laptop and use my cute little paws to touch everything. Now it's definitely a lot more chill. They have their little towers that they like to sit on, clean themselves on, and I love it. They're so beautiful and cute. One of them's lying on his back like a little nugget, and the other one's in her little tower, protected from the world, the scary world. Sorry, slight detour, but that's okay. Okay, now we click buy Bitcoin. No, it is not. So a lot of people like to skip this step and just go straight to buy. Let's not do that. Always set your take profit and stop loss. That's your TP trigger and your SL trigger, okay? So the first one, our take profit, I'm gonna set that one at, maybe let's go 70. Oh, yeah, 70. All right, I'm gonna set that one at 70,000 USDT. So SuperEx pretty much just tells me in red that when the price reaches 70,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order. So your estimated P&L will be plus around 3.80 USDT. So that means if Bitcoin moves from 65,000 to 70,000, the platform sells my Bitcoin automatically. I pretty much lock in my profit while I'm asleep, while I'm at work, anywhere. We love it. But then you got to think about the opposite direction as well, our SL trigger, okay? I'm going to set this one at, let's make our numbers nice. Same logic, but opposite direction. If Bitcoin crashes from 65,000 to 60,000, the platform sells immediately. And I lose an estimated 3.18 USDT. I don't lose 20, don't lose 50. My downside is capped. So remember, SuperEx pretty much shows us and prompts us every step of the way. This says when the price reaches 60,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order. Make sure you guys read everything that SuperEx honestly spoon feeds us. They want us to be comfortable and safe and know that you're not getting into some kind of scary big deal. This is a really important thing that you guys should be listening. Bear with me one second. I feel like our connection has dropped yet again. Okay, bear with me one second. I need to double check what is happening. All right, give me a second, guys. I just want to make sure that the connection is as smooth as I can make it. And it's absolutely going up and down so much. Oh well. Not much I can do about it right now. Maybe I can try to fix some things for tomorrow's stream, but at this moment, I'm gonna have to go with it and see how we go. I do apologize if anyone is watching and having to deal with this choppy connection. Yeah, because that's not cool. Not in the slightest. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going with the live stream, guys, but if this keeps happening tomorrow, I probably won't continue with the live stream because this connection just seems incredibly choppy at the moment, and I don't think that's really fair for you guys to have to put up with that connection. Okay, where was I at? Okay, we were talking about our SL trigger and making sure you read the red parts. So yeah, pretty much a bit of a quick tip is that the pros never really enter a trade without an exit plan. And we made ours minus the poor internet connection within a span of like 10 seconds. Super easy, straightforward. We love it. So the final step before you click on anything is you double check your numbers at the bottom here. So you make sure your available USDT matches what you are able to do. Make sure your Bible Bitcoin is what you're going to be getting. Just make sure they're matching what you expect, okay? And then you get to hit that big, beautiful green button, finally. And then that's it. Your order is now live in the order book. You can see it in the Open Orders tab at the bottom here. And you don't have to sit and watch it. The system honestly handles everything. If Bitcoin hits 65,000, you buy. If it then hits 70,000, we sell for profit. If it crashes down to 60,000, you sell to cut your loss. 3 scenarios, all automated. We love it. So pretty much the flow of spot trading kind of goes like this. You choose your pair, you choose buy, you choose limit order, you set your price, the amount you're willing to commit to this trade, you set your TP and SL, then you buy. 7 steps, honestly less than 2 minutes once you've done it twice. But yeah, I think it's a great way to start trading if you haven't done any trades before. Spot trading is the least complicated one of them all. So I would definitely jump into spot trading if you've got that opportunity or if you have an interest. Pretty much how I started trading was that I wanted to teach myself a new skill. And then I stumbled upon SuperEx and I found it incredibly informative and helpful to watch the website and just kind of like read every step of the way because it kind of like spoon fed me every step to make sure that I knew what was happening, and I really appreciated that. Okay, now I want you guys to have a look at our futures one, okay? This is our perpetual futures. It's gonna be a little bit different to spot, but you will notice that there's a couple similarities on this main page. Let's quickly go over the 4 areas I want us to quickly scan over. So the top pair is, the top over here, similar to spot, is our pair sector. We're currently trading Bitcoin and USDT perpetual, but you can switch between ETH, SOL, anything just by clicking right there. And then in the top center here, we've got future specific data. So we've got mark price is what the platform uses to calculate your unrealized P&L and liquidation. We've got our index price is the multi-exchange weighted spot price. And we've got our funding and countdown. So every 8-hour longs pay shorts or vice versa, depending on the funding rate. So you'll see the timer countdown as well up here. 24-hour change, high, low, turnover. It's pretty standard, okay? And then we have our trading panel. This is where we're going to open and close our positions. We'll spend most of our time over here today. Ooh, look at that. Bitcoin has already gone down. See, if we had actually made that order, we would have been able to buy it with our spot trading. It's now down to 64,000. Interesting. See, isn't it crazy how the market just moves? That's what I really like about watching it right up here. This is currently the price that it is moving between. Whereas before, it was 100% at 65. yeah, the last one when we checked, it was around 65,000. But yeah, sorry. Slight detour. I just got real excited that the price went down and I could have made a trade just then. Okay, and then right over here, we've got our order book. We've got live buy and sell orders for futures. This kind of like matters for funding rate skew. So for beginners, we glance, ignore it. We just know that it's there, okay? We won't really be touching that today. Okay, so before you do anything, we're going to pick our margin mode. So to do that, I click over here. Yours might say cross, but because I've done a trade before, mine currently says isolated. Oop. There we go. So then that pops up. There's 3 choices to choose between, and I just want you guys to listen quite carefully because this decides what happens when things go wrong. Okay, so for cross margin mode, every position you have under this asset shares one single margin balance. So if one trade tanks, the system will pull from your other position margins to prevent liquidation. I know it sounds nice, but if everything crashes at once, you can lose your entire futures wallet and not just one position. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. Then we have isolated margin mode. You assign a fixed amount of margin to each position. So if the trade goes against you, you only lose that allocated margin. The rest of your wallet is safe. This one's quite recommended for beginners. And that's the one that we'll be choosing today. Split margin mode is similar to isolated, but you transfer a specific amount up front. So if the margin drops to less than 100%, you get liquidated and the trader can lose all the margin in that sub account. Yeah, so once you've decided, you just click confirm. My honest recommendation for your first month or anyone who's just like beginners and still trying things out and wants to understand things as clear as possible, I would go with isolated. Don't let one bad trade wipe out everything that you have earned. So I would confirm on that. And then we can keep going. Okay, so with that, then we want to choose our leverage. So next to our margin mode, we have that button here. Mine says 30 times right now. So you're going to press that. And then this pop-up opens. So the big count at the top, you can use the plus or minus to make any fine tuning, or you can drag this slider across and go all the way from 1 times to 150 times. Just read the warning carefully. So selecting a high leverage will increase the risk of forced liquidation, okay? So at 150 times, it's 0.66% move against you wipes you out. And then at 10 times, it takes about a 9% move. At 3 times, if you survive, you can survive a 30% crash. So the higher leverage isn't bigger profits. It's smaller margin for the same position size, okay? Just try to wrap your head around that. And that pretty much just means tighter liquidation distance. So once you've chosen your number, you click confirm. For beginners, I probably would recommend you guys stick to anywhere between 3 and 5 times. You kind of want to learn the platform and not risk it all in one day, and then you can also increase it later. For this demo, I'm going to stick to 30 times. But yeah, once you've clicked that, then we can start looking at what order type we want. Similar to my spot tutorial, I'm going to choose limit because this lets us pick the exact buy price instead of taking the market price. So that's just right up here. So I would pick limit right there. And then for the price field, now that's already below 65,000, my number is going to be different. I'm going to put 64,000. I still do think it's going to drop a little bit more before it goes up. So I would put 64,000. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, guys. Sorry. Choo! Choo! Oh, bless me. I'm sorry about that, guys. Ooh. Sounds like hay fever just then. But yeah, so for my price, I've popped 64,000, which is just like a small dip from what the current is. So if Bitcoin drops there, my order fills. If it doesn't, nothing happens and I can cancel anytime. Down below, this little toggle is quite important here. So CONT versus USDT. You get to choose between the two. So what conch kind of means is how many contracts. So each Bitcoin contract on SuperEx equals a specific Bitcoin quality, whereas USDT means how much USDT you want to commit. Beginners probably should stick to USDT because it's the dollar amount that you understand. It's easier to wrap your head around, okay? And then we choose the amount that we want to commit for this trade. Similar to spot, I'm going to commit 50, even though I only have 15 USDT in my account. But that's okay. So yeah, once I've popped in a 50 USDT there, you can look at your margin down below. My margin says 1.66 USDT, so that's only $3 and change locked up as collateral, because at 30 times leverage, 50 USDT of exposure only requires 50 divided by 30, which is about 1.66 USDT of margin. That's pretty much the leverage magic. So small margin, big risk, big risk. Sorry. Small margin, big position, big risk, okay? Just keep that in mind when you are doing these trades, and that's why I always recommend that you guys do a smaller leverage to begin with, just because stressful times. Okay, now the most important part is your take profit and stop loss. Sorry, I'm just checking out my fur babies to my left here because they're being very sweet. Yes, so we're going to set our TP and SL. So make sure that you guys click this checkbox right here. If there's one thing you can remember from this video, honestly, make it this, that never enter a futures trade without these two numbers set, okay? It's super important, and it takes just a few seconds to fill out. So my take profit price, I'm going to set you at 70,000. And that pretty much means like I'm buying at 64,000 and saying if Bitcoin jumps up to 70,000, it sells automatically and I lock in my gains. I don't need to stare at the chart. The platform does it for me. We love this. Then we have our SL trigger, our stop loss. I'm going to set this one to, I was doing 60,000 for there, but I kind of want to make it a little bit tighter because I actually don't think it's going to go, I don't think it's going to hit that low. So I reckon I'm going to go to 62,000 just so I have less of a loss. So that's pretty much the opposite direction. If Bitcoin crashes to 62,000, it sells immediately and I cap my loss. That's kind of like the fine line between some margin, but from losing some margin and getting completely liquidated, okay? Only after both are set do we click that big, beautiful green button down below here. So this is open long button. Open long means you're betting Bitcoin goes up. Open short means you're betting it goes down. I think it's ultimately going to go up. So I would definitely be choosing open long. Once you have clicked one of those two, so I'd be clicking open long in this situation, the order goes live and there's two places you can check it. So we have our open orders tab at the bottom of the screen. If it's a limit order that hasn't been filled yet, it sits here. You can cancel at any time. And then, or you can have a look at it in your positions tab. So once the order fills, so if Bitcoin touches my, what was my bid? 64,000, no. Yes, my 64,000 bid. The trade moves from open orders to positions, and you'll see your entry price, your current P&L in USDT, liquidation price, and a close button. So to close early, just hit the close button. You can do a flash close, which is the market price instant, or a limit close, which is your chosen exit price. Once closed, your margin is returned to your futures wallet, plus or minus your P&L minus fees. And then if your TP or SL triggers automatically, the position closes itself and you'll see it in order history right there. So yeah, honestly, it's a really straightforward process here. Let's quickly go over what it would mean to do this trade. So you first pick your margin mode. Let's bring it back up to the screen so you can see things a bit better. All right, pick your margin mode. Isolated for beginners is what I had recommended. Then pick your leverage. Start low, 3 to 5 times. I chose 30 times for this trade. And then step 3 is you set your price, choose the USDT amount. And then step 4, always set your TP and SL. Okay, super, super important. That's the main thing I want you guys to take away from today is always set it in no matter what trade you're getting into, be it spot or futures, you set your TP and SL. And then step 5 is your open long or short, just based on your view of what's going to happen. Step 6, manage the position from the positions tab. Honestly, it's incredibly straightforward, and SuperEx is an absolute gem in the sense that it tries to help make sure that you understand what is happening every step of the way. It doesn't want you to get into a trade where you're going to lose everything, okay? Have faith that this, honestly, I've been on a couple other platforms, or at least tried to. One was years ago, was very unsuccessful. Another one was a few months ago before I got onto SuperEx. I tried to get on another platform and it just didn't work out for me. It was asking for too much documentation, too many questions, and I was just like, I'm so overwhelmed and unsure of how to process with this. Whereas when SuperEx, when I signed up with them, honestly, they asked for my email address, they asked for my phone number, made me set a password, a 2-step authentication. It was so straightforward. It made me feel a lot better. And then when I realized that depositing, withdrawing funds was just a few clicks, my one tip, if you are going to do withdraw or depositing funds, you make sure that you're copying, pasting, and you're reading every step of the way correctly. Don't add any don't even try to write out the address that you're going to be copying and pasting. It leaves too much room for error. So I'll always make sure you copy and paste those numbers that you see. It'll be a lot clearer when we go over. We can go over the deposit and withdraw steps tomorrow if you guys are interested. But yeah, it's incredibly straightforward with that, and they make it very clear what I have to do. So in red, they always say, please note, do this, make sure you copy and paste it exactly, or else your funds could be lost. Yeah, so that made me feel really comfortable. And then when I started doing spot trading and future trading, having them explain everything every step of the way, I didn't actually need someone's help. I was able to teach myself with a little bit of research to make sure I understood what was going on. So yeah, hopefully you find these live streams can be helpful in a certain aspect that maybe it pikes an interest that you want to get into trading, or if you've already started trading, you decide to check out SuperEx as a platform to do that. I find it incredibly helpful and welcoming on my end. Please let me know if you think the same as well. In the comments down below, let me know if you guys have done any trades on other platforms on SuperEx. I would love to be able to interact with you guys a bit more. And don't forget, feel free to comment during the live stream or even on the pre-recorded videos, just because we do want to have the most amount of interaction with everyone and make sure that we're getting the right content that you guys want to see. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. I can see the connection is not the best, that's for sure. It's definitely dropping in and out, which is a shame, but who knows? Maybe I can get something working for us on a future day. But yeah, all right. Take care. Hopefully I can get things a little bit more tighter for tomorrow. We'll see. I'll try to put some time into it. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in today.